This is Angelic Voice ASMR, and today we've got something really exciting here. I know it looks like just another box, and it kind of is, but there's lots of really exciting goodies inside, and I'm sure you know a little bit if you read the title. But let's get going. Now, with any luck, I've opened this on the right side because the shipping label was on the side of the box, so you can see a bit of Avatar themed stuff. Oh, the lotus style. Anyways, I'm really excited. So this is all Avatar: The Last Airbender themed. So we've got a cloth here with a tile. If you know about Avatar, you know that this is a very special tile that I'll talk about in a minute here. Next, we have the dice pack. Ooh, interesting. Wasn't sure how those colors would turn out, but that is curious. You got your elements: water, earth, air, fire. Then we have some machinery, or I'm assuming metal, and not quite sure, but let's find out if we turn it over. It says Avatar Legends, the role-playing game, helps you tell your own heroic tales in the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. This pack of engraved dice contains 6 pairs of 6-sided dice usable in Avatar Legends, the role-playing game. Each pair bears the color and symbol of one of the 6 different trainings of heroes in this world: airbending, waterbending, earthbending, firebending, weapons, and technology. Okay, so assuming technology and weapons. Oh yeah, that would make sense, the boomerang. Okay, yeah. Then we have the combat action deck with Aang in his avatar state. On the back we have Avatar: The Legends, the role-playing game features expert fighters, be they flame-wielding firebenders, ice-throwing waterbenders, or mecha-driving technologists. Eventually they'll face foes who won't quit without a fight. That's when combat exchanges begin. The combat action deck makes combat exchanges as smooth and easy to play as possible. The combat action deck includes 9 sets of stance cards, 1 for each player. The basic techniques tied to each stance card: art of your favorite legendary characters, and 28 status cards to track whether you're empowered, doomed, favored, or more. We have that it is the Avatar Legends combat action deck. We have the 4 element symbols. And yeah. We have the, ooh, that's nice. That looks like those are the notebooks. You get 5 notebooks, 5 notebooks. 1 for air, fire, water, earth, and 1 for the avatars in the avatar state. They're just funky covers. dice bag here. A dark navy dice bag with the elemental symbols. You have fire, air, water, and earth. And then we have the things that make this box so freaking heavy. That would be one Shidong's Adventure Guide. You have the title character right here from the classic episode about the library, or episodes, I should say. It says it is an exciting compilation of new adventure material and play options. Wan Shidong's Adventure Guide expands the play material found in the Avatar Legends, the role-playing game, with new NPC legends from every era, new techniques for each of the 6 trainings, and new character archetypes, packed with unique moves and character arcs. In addition, Wan Shidong invites you to explore the Avatarverse in new and exciting adventures from every era. You might rescue a mentor from the clutches of evil villains, help negotiate peace at a prestigious summit, aid a Fire Nation defector as they flee Fire Lord Ozai's wrath, or even recover long-lost Air Nomad artifacts. And it says 3-6 players, time 2 to 4 hours for everyone. It says 4 new character playbooks, archetypes that help you play compelling protagonists, 5 exciting adventures that span the eras of Kyoshi, Roku, the 100 Years' War, Aang, and Korra, 14 NPC legends, adored characters such as Toph, Varric, and Azula, each able to teach special techniques, expanded material for exploring Wan Shidong's infamous spirit library, which is so cool. Then we have the book itself with the same image as on the notebook here. We have the Avatar Legends, the role-playing game book. It says everything you need to play in this beloved setting and create your own heroic legends. If we flip it over, we see Kyoshi. Yep, his name evades me. It will be on the screen. Ozai, Aang, and Korra. It says, adventure across the 4 nations. Avatar Legends, the role-playing game, brings you and your friends into the beloved setting of Avatar Legends. As new heroes of your own stories, weave tales of self-discovery and action with your team of friends, and go penguin sledding while you're at it. In this RPG, you might face off with a triple threat triad in Republic City. Travel through a spirit portal to rescue a missing child. Negotiate peace between the Earth Kingdom, outlaws, and the Sage's Council. Pursue enemies and mysteries throughout the 4 nations, and even learn a thing or two from beloved Avatar Legends characters. It says, choose a setting from the eras of Kyoshi, Roku, the 100 Years' War, Aang, and Korra. Create your favorite heroes from 10 playbooks, archetypes that help you play compelling protagonists. Master an element, weaponry, or technology to rise and meet your destiny. Pursue balance by learning from great mentors and getting into trouble across the 4 nations. And as you can see, this is all endorsed by Nickelodeon, which is great. All licensed by Nickelodeon and Viacom. Done by Magpie Games. So, this is exciting enough, but you know what? That's nothing yet. Let's get into it. Okay, and we've got that done. So, let's dig in, shall we? So, first off, where should we start? I don't want to start with the books first. Because I want to really get into those. Let's start first off, we have... Oh, that's interesting. If you are familiar with the show, you will be familiar with the White Lotus tile. The White Lotus that Uncle Iroh is very fond of in his game of Bai Sho. And this is my very own White Lotus tile. Now I'm not sure if this will have any bearing on the game, or if it was just a neat little addition. Honestly, either way, I feel like it's really cool. It's just really fun to have. I've thought about getting like a replica by show board and tiles made, because I think it is just really neat. But I haven't done that, as it's a bit expensive. Next, we have this beautiful embroidered velvety bag. With the 4 elements on it, and it says, as a tag that says Avatar Legends, the role-playing game. 2022 Viacom International Inc. All rights reserved. Made in China. 100% polyester velvet. Polyester velvet. Interesting. So, it is a good-sized bag. Can fit my whole hand in it. And obviously it's a dice bag, so use it for the dice over here. But that is yet to come. It is a very nice dice bag. I look forward to using it. Next, we have something I am super freaking excited about. That is the classic map. The classic Avatar map. It says 2020 Viacom International, all rights reserved. But we have the Fire Nation, the Northern Water Tribe, Southern Water Tribe, have the Earth Kingdom, and the Air Nomads, and all of the land surrounding by that classic, in the classic style that you see at the beginning of the intro to Avatar. Then we have something I'm quite interested to see, actually, is the notebooks. So we have the one with Avatar Aang and Avatar Korra. We have water, earth, fire, and air. Yep, just as expected. And from the Kickstarter, I believe it is, yeah, they're all just blank notebooks. Oh, that's a nice little touch. Little elements at the back there. Oh, and at the front. And it is branded on the back with Avatar Legends, the role-playing game. You have the elements just tiled there. 4 elements tiled together in just a tile set. That is really cool. So they're all the same, they're all blank. Just for note-taking or what have you. Personally, I think it would be really cool if they had like character sheets in them or something, or if they had like templates or something available, but to my knowledge that isn't something that they have available to purchase. But it would be neat to be able to stick those in the journals. Next we have... You know what, actually, no. Next I'm gonna look at the dice, and we're gonna get more and more in detail. That's my one gripe, is there's a lot of plastic in here. Which, I mean, I get it, it's an opening experience, but it's a lot of plastic. So we have 2 dice for each element. We have fire, tech, weapons, water, we have earth, and we have air. I think air is a little bit, I feel like air is a little bit too green, which is kind of disappointing. I was hoping they'd be more yellow to match up with the other colors found in the game, you know, but that's okay. It's all right, I guess. Okay, so if we put all the dice in here, but first off, let's take a look more at these. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then your element symbol on the place on the face where it should say 6. That's a close-up of the element symbols. And this is a huge dice bag. I believe it was set to fit both this and the deck. Yeah, fits the deck perfectly along with the dice. We have a little pull string with a tightener on there. Works pretty well. So we'll keep the dice in there, and let's dive into the combat deck, combat action deck, which we will zoom in on again. We already read the back. Oh, that was a hard box to get into. Actually bent that top a little bit, which is really unfortunate. Because I'm hoping to keep this as pristine as possible, but I'll get into that later. So again, we have one of those satisfactory little pulls. And we have Avatar Aang in his avatar state. We have defend and maneuver, roll with focus. Ready. Mark 1 fatigue to ready yourself or your environment, assigning or clearing a fictionally appropriate status of nearby characters or yourself. Retaliate, steel yourself for the blows. Each time a foe inflicts fatigue, a condition, or shifts your balance, in this exchange, inflict 1 fatigue on that foe, or seize a position, move to a new location, engage or disengage with a foe, overcome a negative status or danger, establish an advantageous position, or escape the scene. Any foe engaged with you can mark 1 fatigue to block this technique. So these are what they were talking about with the character cards here. And we have advance and attack, roll with passion, strike. Strike a foe in reach, forcing them to mark 2 fatigue, mark a condition, or shift their balance away from the center of their choice. Mark 1 fatigue instead, to choose to hammer them with your blows, forcing them to mark 2 fatigue or strike when the players that approach in the next exchange. Smash. Mark 1 fatigue to destroy or destabilize something in the environment, possibly inflicting or overcoming a fictionally appropriate positive or negative status. We have evade and observe. Clear 1 fatigue and roll with creativity or harmony. Test balance. Mark 1 fatigue to challenge an engaged foe's balance. Ask what their principle is. They must answer honestly. If you already know their principle, instead shift their balance away from center by questioning or challenging their beliefs or perspective. Bolster or hinder. Aid or impede a nearby character, inflicting an appropriate status. Commit. Recenter yourself amidst the fray. Shift your balance towards one of your principles. The next time you live up to that principle, do not mark fatigue. Next we have Avatar Korra. We have her defend and maneuver. It's all the same. So presumably all of this is going to be the same. We have Zuko with his sword. Again, we have the defend, maneuver, advance, and attack. Or evade and observe. We have Toph. Great pose for Toph. We have Tenzin with his defend, maneuver, advance, and attack. And evade and observe. We have Avatar Kyoshi with her defend and maneuver, advance and attack, evade and observe. We have Azula with her cards. Oh, I like that. It changes. So the coloring changes as well on the side. So this one says NPCs choose 1 plus balance rating techniques. And then we have that same text for defend and maneuver, advance and attack, and evade and observe. Interesting. We have Jet with, again, that same NPC text. And then we have status cards. So these are probably the character cards. We have status cards. It says status doomed. You are in grave danger. Mark 1 fatigue every few seconds or each exchange until you free yourself. On the other side, we have status favored. You are buoyed by circumstance. Choose an additional basic or master technique in the next exchange, even on a miss. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these double-sided cards. Then we have status impaired. You're slowed or off balance. Mark 1 fatigue or take -2 to all physical actions. Playable characters. / choose 1 fewer techniques. NPCs. On the other side, we have empowered. Your abilities are naturally stronger in this moment. Clear 1 fatigue at the end of each exchange. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these cards as well. Then we have status trapped. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. I love that screenshot for that. So we have trapped. You are completely helpless. You must mark a combination of 3 conditions or fatigue to escape. Then we have inspired. Status. You're ready to stand for something. Clear inspired. To shift your balance toward a principle of your choice. So we have 1, 2, 3, few seconds until you steady yourself. Versus prepared status. You're ready for what's coming. Clear prepared to take +1 to an appropriate roll after the roll, or avoid marking a condition. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So in all, you have 2, 4, 6, 8 different statuses that you could have. And you have character cards. 1, yeah, no. Okay, and I'm not sure how the character cards exactly work, because they're talking about NPCs versus playable characters. So I'm not sure if all of those quote-unquote count or not. So for now, we'll stick the action deck back in its box. It's a little bit dinged up already. That's unfortunate. Oh, it's scratched up as well, I think. Oh, or maybe that's just the design. There's a water tribe design on the back with a 4 elements on the front there with Aang. So I'm going to put those plus the lotus tile in that bag just for safekeeping. I'm going to zoom out and put all of this aside. So let's start off, first off, with this. The text is a little bit embossed on the cover here. There's a little bit of dents and corner dings on there, which it's shipping. So, I mean, you kind of expect to find that. We have a completely purple map of the 4 nations. It says, destiny is a funny thing. You never know how things are going to work out. Uncle Iroh. Avatar the Legends, the role-playing game. Now we have the credits for all of this, which is great. And acknowledgements. We have the table of contents about Avatar Legends. What is an RPG? The Avatarverse. Playing to find out. What do you need to play? We have about the world of Avatar. So exploring history, the 4 nations, a world of balance, navigating eras. The Kyoshi era, the Roku era, the 100-Year War era, the Aang era, the Korra era. The fundamentals of play, about conversation, framing scenes, core elements, and starting a game. Chapter 4 is about making characters, setting up your game, and about you being the hero. Chapter 5 is about using moves in play, basic moves, balance moves, advancement moves, custom moves, combat exchanges, statuses, basic technique, and all of it together. Chapter 6 is the playbooks, which I am super excited about. We have the 10 core playbooks, then we have the Adamant, the Bold, the Guardian, the Hammer, the Icon, the Idealist, the Pillar, the Prodigy, the Rogue, the Successor. Chapter 7 is Advancement, earning growth advancements, advanced techniques, specialized bending, and changing your character. Chapter 8 is about running the game, the GM's role, agendas, baselines, guidelines, GM moves, NPCs, portraying NPCs, managing bending, and running fight scenes. Chapter 9 is Seasons and Campaigns. So starting a campaign, crafting a season, new seasons. So I'm assuming a season is basically a game, like however many sessions it takes to run through a campaign. Chapter 10 is Running Adventures, Creating Adventures, Adventure Tools, Adventure Hooks, The Vanishing Act, Using this Adventure, Summary, Introduction, Escalations, Important Characters and Groups, Important Locations, GM Advice, Appendix A, Techniques, Universal Techniques, Group Techniques, Waterbending Techniques, Earthbending Techniques, Firebending Techniques, Airbending Techniques, Weapon Techniques, and Technology Techniques. We have Appendix B, NPCs, Kyoshi, Roku, General Iroh, Aang, and Korra. Appendix C is Play Materials. Oh, that is amazing. That is great art. We have Aang on his glider. So we have, what is Avatar Legends, the role-playing game? Let's start with that. In Avatar Legends, the role-playing game, you and your friends tell a story about a young group of heroes who join together to fight for what's right in a complicated, nuanced world. One of your friends acts as the game master or GM, describing problems the heroes face and the people they meet along the way. The rest of you take on roles of individual heroes seeking to make the Avatarverse a better place. This game focuses on stories of adventure and the personal journeys of heroes through the various trials in their lives. It's a game for people of all ages who want to look at the Avatarverse beyond the scope of the existing shows, comics, and stories, and explore the meaningful actions heroes take for the good of others. If you've ever wanted to throw yourself into the Avatarverse and craft your own adventures alongside your closest friends, then Avatar Legends, the role-playing game, is for you. So we have the eras. So the Kyoshi era covers the events right after the Shadow of Kyoshi novel. Okay. That I don't know about personally. I'm not caught up on the novels. Play in the Kyoshi era if you want to fight battles against rogues and bandits and deal with governmental corruption as the nations establish their borders. The Roku era covers the time right after Sozin became Fire Lord and before Roku married. Play in the Roku era if you want to deal with tensions between different nations and the trials of maintaining an uneasy peace. The 100-Year War era focuses on the time just before Avatar Aang's awakening at the beginning of Avatar The Last Airbender. Play in the 100-Year War era if you want to rebel against unjust rule, protect the weak, and stand up to tyranny. The Aang era is set immediately after the events of the Imbalance Comics trilogy, sometime after the end of the Avatar The Last Airbender show. Play in the Aang era if you want to heal the world after tragedy and help push it to a brighter future. The Korra era covers a period that takes place after the events of the Ruins of the Empire comic trilogy, sometime after the end of The Legend of Korra. Play in the Korra era if you want to deal with repercussions of imperialism, and play in a modernized era. So we have the Earth Kingdom. The largest of the four nations, the Earth Kingdom, has been ruled by a monarchy for much of its history. It is known for its sheer vastness and diversity of both geography and peoples. Despite the history of hardship in the rural areas neglected by the government, the citizens of the Earth Kingdom are known for their strength, resilience, and unyielding nature. When they are knocked down, they are rarely down for long. They draw their strength from the immortal earth and immovable mountains. The Fire Nation. The Fire Nation is located on a group of islands to the west of the Earth Kingdom. It boasts an impressive military, and its navy is a force to be reckoned with. This is in large part because they travel by water, is a necessity on the islands. In addition to its military, the Fire Nation is known for its robust economy and industrial achievements. The Fire Nation is filled with people who value innovation, technology, discipline, and strength of all kinds. The air nomads, determined to focus on spiritual life, separate from the rest of the world, the air nomads roamed the world while maintaining 4 distinct air temples in nearly inaccessible locations. Tragically, Fire Lord Sozin ordered the Fire Nation military to kill all air nomads at the start of the 100-Year War. See page 58. After Aang was the only survivor, over a century later, a number of people gained airbending abilities during the harmonic conversions, ushering in a new air nation under the guidance of Aang's son, Tenzin. The Water Tribes, divided into the Southern Water Tribe and the Northern Water Tribe, alongside a smaller group based in the Foggy Swamp. The people of the Polar Tribes are skilled at sailing and navigating challenging terrain. However, there is a long history of tension between the two tribes. The Southern Water Tribe has often struggled, while their northern counterpart thrived. Both are known for their powerful loyalty and unrelenting perseverance, like the waves of the ocean crashing onto the beach's shore. If the trainings, waterbending, earthbending, firebending, airbending, weapons, and technology. Waterbending. Waterbending is water's movement, change, and grace. The element cannot be broken, and even in its most rigid forms, has the ability to melt and reform. It is a dynamic element, subtle but powerful. Waterbending is inspired by the real-world martial art of Tai Chi. The style's flowing motions allow a waterbender to move their element defensively, to redirect an opponent's attack, or offensively in the form of water whips, ice attacks, or large waves. Certain waterbenders can also redirect energy paths in the body to heal injuries. Earthbending. Earth is strong, stable, and constant. The element stands the test of time. It is a steady element, bold and unyielding. Earthbending is inspired by the real world Huangga, known for solid stances and blunt punches, with fists formed into diverse shapes and toughened by striking exercises. Earthbenders can harness the formative energy of the earth, powerfully punch boulders, and ride platforms of stone to impossible heights. Firebending. Fire is pure energy, destruction, and regeneration. The element can either consume everything around it in a powerful blaze, or heat it with a brilliant intensity that is impossible to ignore. It is an energetic element, bright and mighty. Firebending is inspired by the real-world northern Shaolin, associated with the Shaolin Monastery. These fighters use fast, athletic movements, including jumps, spins, and extended linear stances, powered by breath. Firebenders can exhale fire, wield flames like daggers, and grow a singular flame into a raging bonfire. Airbending. Air is flexible, playful, but still powerful. The element goes where it wills, and expands and contracts to meet its environment. Air is an open element, breeding freedom and bolstering spirits. Airbending is loosely based on the real world Baguazhang. The martial arts, circular motions, and footwork allows one person to defend against multiple enemies. Airbenders are quick and nimble at using their skills to defend from and evade attacks. Airbenders can ride balls of spinning air, quell cyclones, and sweep even the heaviest objects into weightlessness. Weapons. Weapons are precise, intimidating, and fierce. They demand craftsmanship to create and discipline to master. In the right hands, a weapon can level the playing field between a non-bender and a bender. Their first specialty. Fighters trained in the use of weapons can come from any nation. Their first specialty likely comes from their home nation, with a weapon and fighting style unique to their home region, but it can also include unarmed combat, such as chi blocking. Weapons in the Avatarverse take inspiration from real-world Asian and indigenous cultures, such as the Chinese Dao, saber, and other traditional weapons. Technology. Technology is brilliance, power, and innovation. It changes what is possible and pushes the boundaries of established norms. It is intricate, yet mighty. Technological innovation can be found throughout the four nations. Heroes who use technology spring up from all over the world. Of course, advanced technology varies by the era. An Earth Kingdom technologist in the Roku era might use smoke bombs and traps, whereas a technologist in the Korra era might use an electrified rod or mechanized vehicles. I'm going to go through this a little bit faster at the moment. So, what you need to play: you have a quiet place, dice, pencils and paper, and the play materials. The world of Avatar. We basically have the whole history. We have the map in more detail. 4 nations. More about the 4 nations. Navigating the eras. About the Kyoshi era. And GM moves related to it. We have important events in the Kyoshi era. Ooh, we have the 2 bookmarks. Yay. We have the Earth Kingdom and notable figures in it. The Fire Nation and notable figures. Air Nomads and their notable figures. Water Tribe and their notable figures. Then we have the same for the Roku era. Era. A world without an avatar. The Water Tribes, the Earth Kingdom, the Fire Nation. Oh, we have about playing a Fire Nation character. We have the Aang era and significant themes. The Air Acolytes. We have the Water Tribes, the Earth Kingdom, and the Fire Nation. We have the Korra era and significant themes there within. The United Republic of Nations. We have the Water Tribes and the bookmarks. The Earth Kingdom, the Fire Nation, and the Air Nation. Then we have fundamentals of play. I love the art in this. Oh my gosh. Like, it sticks to the style of Avatar, but just different kind of coloring method, and it is really pretty. It's almost like watercolor-esque, sort of. No. Yeah, it's different. So we have conversation, framing scenes, how to frame a scene, and how to quickly move things along. What about the moves and dice? What triggering moves are? Rolling the dice, about hits and misses, weak hits and strong hits, misses and failures. And the fact that the GM isn't playing against you, but is pushing the story forward. Oh, you have a picture of the classic Cabbage Man. My cabbages. We have the core elements like fatigue and conditions, being angry, afraid, guilty, insecure, or troubled, and how to clear those. We have balance. I thought that this was going to be something that we'd get in the deck or something, but it doesn't seem like it, which is a bit strange. I'm hoping NPCs, and how to start a play, how to start a game, how to play, and how to choose an era. And then we have a chapter that I am super excited for, and that is how to make characters. So you choose an era for your game, and whether you're focusing in on a particular era or not, or like particular spot or not. Like, are you focusing in on Bossing Say, or the Foggy Swamp, or Republic City? Then we have group focus. So what are you trying to defeat? What makes the foe powerful or compelling? Or if you're trying to protect someone or something, why is that? If you're trying to change someone or something, what is that? Why are your characters all wanting to change this? If you're trying to deliver something or someone to a place or to someone else, why is that important? Why can't others do it? Why is it just your characters? If you're trying to rescue someone or something, again, why is it? Who is it? Why hasn't anybody else done it? If you're trying to learn something, why haven't you learned it already? And who's trying to stop you from learning it, and that kind of thing, you know? Basic stuff, honestly. And what is outline the inciting incident? So, what happens to draw all these characters together and kick off the plot? So you choose a playbook. So you have 10 playbooks that we went over before a little bit. Then we have more specific to characters, individual characters. We have names for each of the tribes. We have names for the air nomads, the earth kingdom, fire nation, polar water tribes, or the foggy swamp water tribe names. We have more about the fighting styles of waterbending, airbending, earthbending, weapons, firebending, and technology. We have the backgrounds that these characters could be from. They could be from the military, they could be monastic, like monastery. They could be an outlaw, privileged, urban, or from the wilderness. Where's the hometown? What kind of demeanors do your characters have? What do they look like? And what are their history? What are their motivations? What are their stats? Conditions? You get to, what is their combat technique? So you get to introduce your character and bring the cast together in the first episode, so to speak. There's always the question of, can I play a canon character? Which has been a big question ever since this Kickstarter started, is can you play somebody like the Avatar, for example? So, it says, can I play a canon character? While the characters in Avatar, The Last Airbender, and The Legend of Korra are fantastic, their stories have already been told. When you play Avatar Legends, the role-playing game, you have the chance to create your own unique hero who deals with similar challenges to those existing characters, while telling your own stories and exploring new and familiar parts of the world. Of course, if you're really interested in playing an existing character, you can absolutely do that, as long as everyone else at the table is excited about it too. Just bear in mind that this chapter is written to help create your own original characters, and that there is no other material on playing canonical characters in these rules. So, can I be an Avatar? The Avatar is the most powerful bender in the world during each age, reincarnated endlessly to help bring balance to the world it's only natural that you might want to play as them, especially if you're a long-time fan. However, each era already has an established avatar. If you're playing in Roku's era, Roku is struggling to maintain international peace and his friendship with Fire Lord Sozin. If you're playing in the 100-Year War era, Aang is frozen beneath the waters of the South Pole. In many cases, the endings of these stories are already written. Even if there are gaps here and there, this text is written assuming you're not playing the Avatar. The most important reason there are rules for playing the Avatar is that being the Avatar creates an imbalance of narrative importance in the game. You're the main character, even if you don't want or intend to be. This means that the other players can get pushed to the side and get less spotlight time during the game, while the rest of your team Avatar are important to the story. Whoever plays the Avatar will inevitably get the lion's share of attention in the game, as NPCs seek them out for advice, or to mediate disputes, challenges their rulings, or try to sway them to support their cause. In normal play, every character in Avatar Legends, the role-playing game, is as important as everyone else, and every character gets to contribute to the story equally in their own unique ways. Then we have Avatar Korra with Korra moves, and this is about using moves in play and what the basic moves are and the options for assessing a situation. Guide and comfort. Options for guiding and comforting, which is an option here. You can guide or comfort a fellow character. You can hold or +1 forward or +1 ongoing. Some moves refer to hold, taking +1 forward and taking +1 ongoing as outcomes. These are bonuses. Hold is a temporary resource connected to the move you got it from. When you receive it, you hold onto it until you spend it as outlined by that move. So you get to spend points on different options. You can intimidate someone, you can plead with them, you can push your luck, or you can rely on your skills and training. You have options for relying on your skills and training, or you can trick someone. You have options for that. You can help someone. And how you do that? You have balance moves. You can call someone out, or you can deny a call, not call someone out for not living up to their principles, or you can deny a call out and say that you are living up to those principles. You can resist shifting your balance or lose your balance. You have advancement moves and training moves, when to use custom moves. You can build custom moves and how they trigger them. What are the effects on those moves, the conditions, the status effects, the stakes, combat exchanges, and here are the steps in those exchanges, about statuses, and how the different statuses interact with the different basic techniques, all of these outlined on the card. The evading or the trainings in combat, and how to weave it all together. There's an extended example of how to play, of an example of playing. Quite extended. I'm not going to read all this, because we're trying to flip through a bit faster. You have the different playbooks. You have the base playbooks, the core playbooks. We have the Adamant, a zealous advocate with a heart of gold and a diamond heart will, ready to do what it takes to fix the world. Our balance balance principles are restraint versus results. The idealist, a survivor in some terrible harm, now struggling to maintain hope and a belief in the good of the world and others. Their balance principles are forgiveness and action. The bold, a charming adventurer who knows they're greater than the others assume, striving to show their worth. Their balance principles are loyalty versus confidence. The pillar, a proficient leader coming from their own special team, now devoted to this new group of companions trying to help others to cohere. Their balance principles are support versus leadership. The guardian, a protector and leader devoted to others, perhaps to their own detriment. They have adopted one of the companions as their ward. Their balance principles are self-reliance versus trust. The prodigy, an extraordinarily capable practitioner of their training, but that tends to make them a bit too arrogant and isolated. Their balance principles are excellence versus community. The hammer, a fighter looking to solve problems by smashing them, even when that might not be the right solution. Their balance principles are force versus care. The rogue, a vagabond who has struggled to survive. They've never felt they belonged, and they've become a rebel and a troublemaker to make it. Their balance principles are friendship versus survival. The icon, a chosen figure of an ancient tradition expected to carry forward the duties of their role regardless of what they want. Their balance principles are role versus freedom. And the successor, the inheritor of a massively powerful legacy, known all over with its own dark history. Their balance principles are tradition versus progress. And so we have the different principles for all of these. What their moves are. Their starting stats. Their connections. Their legacy. Then we have Chapter 7, Advancement. I love this. Love this. And this in the air, the smoke swirls. We have earning growth and what ends session. So basically, how do your characters grow? How do they advance? Learn new things. Specialized bending, and how do you change your character? How do you change the playbooks? How do you retire a character or make a new one? And here's how you run the game. With Uncle Iroh pouring some tea, probably Jasmine. Who are we kidding? This is more about the GM's role. How to make sure that the world feels real. And what the guidelines are. What the GM can do during a move. What their move list is. And how to portray NPCs. As well as managing bending and the rule of training. And running fight scenes as well, because those are going to be huge in this game as well. And here's an extended combat example, which we're going to skip past. We have seasons and campaigns. And how to start a campaign. How to start a session. What to do during and after the first session. And creating a season. season. So a season is basically a longer campaign. Because some campaigns are longer than just a few sessions, so that is a season apparently. So how to create threads per episode versus per season, how to pace your season, how to make new seasons. Here's how to run adventures. Let's go back. Here's how to run adventures. We have, looks like Sokka with a blade, maybe. Or maybe that's just a random water tribe, but I think that's Sokka. How to create adventures, how to identify a central conflict, how to outline the main characters, and what adventure tools you have. What are adventure hooks? Like, what are the things that you could do in a, here are like little ideas for a season or session. What adventures? There are some adventures here as well. Some pre-done adventures with important characters and groups and their stats, GM advice. Then we have techniques. So what are the different techniques for universal group? Or waterbending, earthbending, firebending, airbending. Versus weapons or technology. And then here's all about different NPCs. About how to play Kyoshi, Roku, General Iroh, Aang, or Korra as NPCs. Play materials, basic moves. And these are more what I was talking about, like a campaign creation worksheet. I'm surprised that these aren't in the... I'm surprised that these are in the books and not in the notebooks. I thought there would be more in the notebooks. Like the Game Master reference sheet and NPCs. Yeah, like here, like these. Like these notes. I would have loved to have these in the notebooks themselves. It's unfortunate they aren't. And then we have an index, of course, because this book is huge. And then we have the little reference to the other things in there as well, including the One Jitong adventure book. So I'm going to, we have that beautiful monotone, monocolor map. Great. So we have those. And then we have the One Jitong Adventure Guide. We have a more green earth bender kind of map. We have, I'll let you peruse my vast collection on one condition. It says One Jitong. We have the library. What is the spirit library? Where is it? How to get to it and searching it. And then we have plot hooks. And these are more about the NPC legends, the playbooks, different adventures, and the appendix. So chapter 1, the library. So we have little things about what is the library and where it is. A little bit about it in early eras and in Aang and Korra's eras, as well as how to get to either sneakily or just outright. We have NPC legends. How to use them. So we have Rangi from the Kyoshi era. How to play them and where to find them. We have Takakak from Roku's era. Long Fang from the 100-Year War era. Azula from Aang's era. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay, we only have one. Azula from Aang's era. Katara from Aang's era. Sokka from Aang's era. Suki from Aang's era. Toph from Aang's era. Ty Lee from Aang's era. Zuko from Aang's era. Asami from Korra's era. Kuvira from Korra's era. Tenzin from Korra's era. Varric from Korra's era. I'm surprised. I thought that they would have Iroh in here. Or something about Iroh. Interesting, I don't know. I thought that that's what they said, but maybe he's in here elsewhere. So we have the playbooks. New playbooks being the Destined. They are known to have some important, incredible fate before them, but what exactly that fate is, when it will come for them, and how it will play out, all remains to be seen. Their balance principles are patience versus determination. The elder, they have seen much, and been to many places, and done much. Now esteemed and successful, they have much to teach, but they also have the wisdom to see that they have much to learn. Their balance principles are experience versus humility. The foundling, they are the inheritor of two traditions, two cultures, two frameworks of training and philosophies. They are constantly trying to represent the best of both, and sometimes tries to combine them into something new. Their balance principles are unity versus heritage. The razor, they were raised to be a weapon, a tool for their masters to use against enemies, but they have seen a better way forward and now seek to make up for the terrible things they did and what they were taught to do. Their balance principles are control versus connection. So again, we have more about the Destined, the Elder, the Foundling, and the Razor. Then we have Earth and Root. So how to use this adventure, and how to use pre-generated characters that are in the end of this book. So this is Earth and Root is a Kyoshi era adventure. So this is about the Kyoshi era adventure. We have a nice little green bookmark here. I don't know if this only contains the one. I think it does. So Kyoshi era adventures. Introduction. Important characters and groups. Pre-generated characters for this adventure. Fire and Brimstone is the same thing in the Roku era. So, about this adventure. Introduction. Important groups, pre-generated characters, important knowledge. And the pre-generated characters are here. Then we have Ash and Steel from the 100-Year War era. We have the summary, the introduction, the important locations, GM advice, and the pre-generated characters. Air and Wind is from Aang's era. We have that introduction, important characters, important locations, GM advice, and pre-generated characters. characters. Water and Mist is from Korra's era. We're using this adventure, this summary, introduction, important characters, important locations, GM advice, and of course the pre-generated characters. Then we have the appendix of techniques, the appendix of techniques, appendix of techniques. Then we have that green map again, and that is it. So we do just have the one bookmark in here, that's fine. So that is it. We have okay, and I know this was a long one, but I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. And as always, I wish